Great, Councilman. How are you?
I'm good. Well, but that's still my life. We're gonna stay with that positive attitude. So tonight we have our traffic. Is he on? Is he on? Lewis?
Not yet.
Okay. So we brought him on too as we all experienced something last week. I don't know if people see the remnants of it or the effects of what did happen at the corner of Fairwood and 29. Does anybody know what happened?
Oh yeah, the track.
Oh yeah, Corey, this Miss Johnson. I want to know, okay, the truck got stopped on the track because it didn't let the thing underneath up
high enough, not high enough.
So it got stuck. Okay, so they have left us all this trash there. So who is responsible for picking this up?
I had the same very question. Because see, it would, to me, it was two different things that I heard. Is they got stuck on the track because of the trailer was too low. And then a wheel got caught in the pothole.
No, that's not what happened.
I don't know if it made it to the pothole.
No, it wasn't related to the pothole. The train got stuck because the lady didn't let that thing underneath there up.
Yeah, she didn't let the log thing.
And so she got stuck.
So then it's not the city's issue.
Well, I don't know whose issue. No, it's not the city.
No, it's not the city's issue.
No,
that's a CSX deal.
And whoever that truck driver
was right. And so the issue to me is that I don't know who's supposed to pick up this trash, but we want this trash pick up. And then the other issue.
I got you.
Wait 1 minute. Let me tell you the other issue for the wreck happened. We've had these black trash bags at the end of Stack Road and Fairwood for 2 weeks. Who's picking that up?
So
where'd that come from?
First of all, right, where'd it come from? Number one.
Where'd that come from? Yeah.
Number two, people just do this stuff on purpose.
No, it looked like maybe the city might have had people picking it up or somebody picked it up.
Well, y'all have to remember now, when they wanted to take over public works, they said we'll have 212 miles of right of way, and then we're gonna have a crew to come over there and pick up the trash over and like a cleaning crew, right? Y'all remember that in the meetings when they had it at the council meetings?
Yes, they said that, but
that's what they said, right? And that started October 1st. This is the 31st, correct?
Right.
So
that's cool. But who gonna pick it up? Do it sit out there for 2 weeks?
Hey, listen, Mr. Valenzuela will be back on the 3rd of November. And to answer that question, but we have the transportation person coming on tonight, which he probably can provide insight to the questions that you're asking on who is going to pick it up. Because I asked our city manager if they can, have that done like ASAP. And then, but this leads to the further conversation of why we need impact fees. Because all of that stuff it was caused by a trailer. I was late to the council meeting that day because it was on Tuesday. And around Tuesday, as I pulled up on it, I just said, hey, I had to roll up on the scene. And then when I was coming home around 12:45 a.m., they were still cleaning it up. So that community was impacted for that long period of time. So my question is, who is responsible for cleaning up and doing that? And who is also responsible because we need those fees associated with it. And so these are the conversations that, you know, we really should be talking about and having, because that's key and critical. Because is that even in our budget when things like that happens? Because you would think that the railroad or the tractor trailer or the companies that they work for have enough funds that in the case that this does happen, they don't want to leave the remnants of their debris in our city for just to create. Because how long, the longer they sit there, people just gonna start piling it on top. Is because they know somebody's gonna get it.
Yes, Councilman Reeves, prime point. That's a good point because over there on Mallory and that little side road stack, it's already a dumping ground. You got soap, you got mattresses and stuff out there.
Well, we have also a recent precedent. Just look at the BP down on the corner of Washington Road and 29.
Yeah.
That'll tell you what you need to right there. As when they closed that up, it became a dumping ground. They just kept piling it on. So we had the opportunity. The reason why you want to get those things up rather quickly is because you don't even want to allow that to fester. Like you don't even want that to even be a situation where it even causes for that to happen.
Right.
Here we go. Is Mr. Martinez on, or did we dial him up?
He is there.
Huh?
There you go. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, look at you have the floor.
Okay. Hi. Sorry that it took so long to get on. My name is Louis Martinez. I'm the Traffic Operations Manager for the City of South Fulton. It's nice to meet everybody that came. Thank you. I'm here to answer any questions you may have that I can help with. I'm in charge of the traffic signage and the traffic signals and the markings on the road. That's exactly what I do.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is that since you said the traffic signal, please help us out in getting a left turn signal. What is it going to take to get a left turn signal from Flat Shows to come on to Fairwood? So that's going to be the question of the hour. Because
from Flat Shoals to Feldwood.
Coming, let me see, what would that be?
You be traveling east
or eastbound? North or westbound? North, let's say northwest, right? Headed towards, headed away from Union City. And so when you get up on Fairwood, you'll come up on the Shell gas station on the left, and then across the street, Fairwood being the separating street, is the BP. And when you get to Flat Shows, there's no left turn signal right there. And so people need to try to jump the light or try to miss it, and then some people just miss it all together.
I apologize. Hold on 1 second, please.
Councilman, he said, hold on 1 second. You must have a dog.
I apologize. One of my kids just came home in full costume and the dogs went crazy for Halloween. I apologize. I'm sorry. If you could say that again.
Okay, if you're traveling like the northwestbound or westbound or Flat Shows headed away from Union City, as you're coming down Flat Shows, you'll come up on to Fairwood, which Banneker High School sits there, and then you have a Shell gas station. And then across the street, Fairwood being the separating street, is the BP gas station.
Right.
But there's no left turn at that signal. So that people who want to, make that turn, like some people have to sit there for a few minutes or wait till the traffic died out to make that left turn, or some people just try to jump it. And so it creates, it's a problem.
Sometimes you can't even make that turn.
Well, right, because it's another issue because when the school goes out there, there's heavy congestion.
That's right.
Yeah, we're learning that all the high schools around here, everybody likes to drive, unfortunately.
I don't think that really is the problem right there.
Well, no, that's not the only problem. I understand that, but it's a lot of kids, how do I say this? unexperienced
So-
drivers is what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
that are jumping out and jumping in. We're having a problem with that around all the high schools, actually. We're working on that. For that intersection alone, I think it has a flashing yellow arrow coming that
No,
way.
it does not.
It has nothing.
Nothing,
It
Okay,
has absolutely nothing.
all right.
nothing.
In that
And they
case,
knocked down that walk sign out there too about a year or so ago.
is it gone again?
It's been gone. It never
Been
was
gone.
put back up.
Okay, I can't test for that. I came out here in June. I can tell you that. You're telling me about this now. I'm making notes, and I will take care of this. This is not something I like to hear. Let's see here. So we're gonna do, come on. Okay. Left turn. All right. I'm gonna look at the left turn for them, and I'm also gonna get, as soon as we get the supplies, we will go out there and fix that walkway.
So y'all gonna put a left turn signal there?
I'm gonna talk to the engineers and see what they can do. Unfortunately, that's above my call. I can install them, but it has to come from the engineers themselves.
Who are the engineers?
We
the
have
edification of the
engineers
public?
from Low Engineers, our new contractor, and that would go to Eli Veith. And I will actually send him an email and tell him what you're requesting, and to see what we can do about it.
But isn't there a traffic light study that's being conducted right now?
I don't know
On
if there's
Fact
one
Shows?
right there.
On Fact Shows, it's a one of those like contiguous deals.
They've been working on it. I know GDOT is planning on replacing every intersection on that road. When it's going to happen, I do not know. So they're supposed to be upgrading everything, and I'm assuming as they're upgrading, they're going to be putting in the turn lanes that they need and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about that. I have it written down though, and I will take care of finding out and get back to you as quick as I can.
We have some questions, Ms. Jane.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, but I think somebody's hand was up before mine. I see Miss Sheila and Miss Glenda. I think their hands was up before mine.
Ms. Collins?
Yes,
Yeah.
my question is, if you put a arrow there to make that left-hand turn, will that create a problem without adding a decel lane for the traffic to continue to flow in the other two lanes?
Not at all. If they're going to add a flashing yellow arrow, or what we call an FYA, if you hear me say that term, that's what it means. If we're going to put a flashing yellow arrow there, we would actually put in a turn lane for it. It's not going to just be out there. Because as it is, if you're just going to go on green, that's the same thing. We would have a separate lane for it so that it wouldn't interrupt the people that are going straight over to, what is it, 85 over there.
So you would have to actually construct this turning lane
Right.
Correct.
to
And it's not
accommodate
really
the
construction.
FYA.
Right. It's more of a shifting of the lanes. If I'm not mistaken, there's a decel lane for the way we're talking. There's one that goes into the Waffle House / gas station / the fish place, right? So that would probably be taken out because it's not really needed, and we would put it as a left turn on the other side. We'd shift over the lanes.
Well, let me provide a little
Wait a
clarity.
minute.
It's already a little decel lane there. You just have to extend it.
Okay. I said I don't have it on my maps right now to take a look at it. But like I said, I do have that open on my notes, and I will definitely take care of that with with Eli tomorrow. And I'll bring it up to him, and we'll go out there and take a look and see what we can do. If it's a matter of traffic counts, we'll get that taken care of.
Right. And so one of the things that I do want to say is going forward, because we do have you as being a subject matter expert, as one of the reasons why there's no arrow there is they didn't account for the amount of rooftops that was in the area. So, but when we look at when people want to come build, and they build all these homes, but nobody ever thinks about the infrastructure of the increase in traffic. Everybody always brings it up. And it's always an issue when somebody wants to put a traffic light there. Well, that's needed because of the homes that's coming. How well are you going to be working with CDRA and that outfit to ensure that when we are going with planning and when developers are coming in, that's just a requirement that so many more extra rooftops is going to dictate, and and the cost associated with that. Who should brunt that cost? Is that developers? Is that from impact fees, or is that a collaborative effort where the city puts in a match funds?
That I honestly don't know, sir. Like I said, GDOT has already looked at it, and they are planning on updating all of those intersections. So I'm assuming that they've realized that the amount of houses or roofs, as you're calling it, are there, and that they need to do something besides upgrade the old hardware and lines. They also need to look at what's going on around the neighborhoods. So I believe that's part of it. And again, I don't know, honestly, until I talk to Eli tomorrow and find out exactly what's going on in that area. And I apologize, I don't have a solid answer for that, but I honestly don't, because that's GDOT. And they don't like to tell me much, unfortunately.
Well, and I just was talking today, and I said I requesting GDOT to come on to deal with that widening project on Buffington Road. That last they told us a year and a half ago, there was an acquisition phase. So,
are you talking about Buffington? And I heard you talking about Buffington and Washington.
Yes, I mean that was right, but that was but we was dealing with the debris from the train tractor trailer collision records last Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. Like I said, a lot of times they don't tell me things.
We need Mr. Martinez to know some things.
Well, no, I what I know is what I know. What you're asking about is more GDOT and the engineers, unfortunately. I can find out the information and let you know, but as far as sometimes they just don't tell me, and I've got to look it up. I've got to find it.
Mr. Martinez, can you clarify what parts you do cover and what kind of questions you would be able to answer?
Okay. I'm here about stop signs, yield signs, street name signs, speed limit signs, no parking signs, things like that.
What about speed bumps?
And speed humps as well. Yes, we're about to put some in Enon Pines in about a week. I have all the information on that and what needs to happen. And as far as lights go, I make sure they're maintained. And I'll fix them if they need to be fixed, but there's not much I can do. They won't let me change them, if you know what I mean, to alter them without them telling me I can. So, like I said, the engineers.
Who is they?
The engineers.
And the engineers work for
Low and GDOT. That's Low Engineering and GDOT.
But Low, did you say there are new contractors or new engineers?
That is correct.
So they work for the city of South Fulton, correct?
Pretty much, yes. Yes, sir.
So they're our client, and they supposed to be updating you with the information that you needed, because people on the constituent, you being our traffic person to update the community, you should have that information that they should be including you. So, but we'll fix it. Well, based on this, that's a whole other conversation, but we'll just stick what you can do today, and particularly, I know that some people on the call at an association were talking about the speed humps, but there's also the smart bumps that I want to use. That I would like that the area to be a beta testing for that for those usage over in. And I just
Can
say
you
Fairwood
explain the
community
difference
area.
for those that don't know the difference?
Well, the ones that there is because the one thing with speed bumps is that the caveat to why as people don't really want them is well, certain people don't that's not recommended is because of the safety vehicles that need to get through there and they're coming at a high level of speed. We're going to an emergency as those speed bumps, causes could cause damage. But the smart humps is that it's fluid. It's just you go right on over it, unless you're going over the speed limit, it's that will crystallize and then becomes hardened. That's for regular car, but the technology that they're still working out, I guess they're in beta testing of this, is that the emergency vehicles will have some kind of mechanism that it will communicate with that smart hump as letting that know that's an emergency vehicle, so it would not crystallize and they can just go right on through like normal activity. And so, but what I can do is, Tamika, I'm going to text you that information to put it in the chat so people can look this up and get further detailed information for the technical aspects of those. And but I think that that's something that we could look at and implement. And I would love for this area over here to be beta testing. And so, because the community wants them, it's not really recommended. We have over $1 million in the fund. And thank God another set of speed bumps getting in because we only had one to date. And so I think we have the funding in place to make some things happen. But I'm done talking. The community, y'all can speak up.
Okay,
Yes,
I have another question.
Hold on, Ms. Collins. Let's let some more people who haven't had a chance. Ms. Sheila, and then we'll come back around.
Okay.
Ms. Sheila?
I lost my thought. Y'all been talking so long, I forgot my question. So y'all can come back to me.
Sorry.
All right, Fairwood.
okay, this Miss Johnson. Okay, I agree with, I have looked up the smart bumps. I like that idea. Now, my second thing is that I had requested a stop sign at Pepper Beach and Fairwood. It is so hard for us to get out. I want, if you don't mind, could you check into me getting us one in here because we cannot get out.
So it's Pebble Beach.
And Fairwood Road.
Right.
And we just don't want a stoplight. We want the ones with the light around them that we have now.
Yes, we're actually going to be probably moving towards those a lot. Unfortunately, just remember, those are not inexpensive. Let's put it that way.
I understand that.
They're very hard to get.
I know.
Well, let's find the resources. I learned about with all kinds of resources out there. So let's find some resources.
I am working on it. I promise. There's several areas. There's 7.
So can you give an example of the difference on the cost for a regular stop sign and the lighted stop sign, and how do you prioritize on where these stop signs with the light should go?
Sure. A regular stop sign is about $100. A flashing stop sign, and I can get a regular stop sign or a 36-inch stop sign, a bigger one, within a week. The flashing stop signs actually cost about $1,400 to $1,600 depending where we're coming from, plus shipping and everything else, and they take about 4 weeks to get. Now we are talking to a company right now about getting a good deal, and we're going to buy a bulk of them. That we have them on hand, which will bring the prices down to about $1,300 to $1,200 a piece. These aren't things that we're going to be putting in places that the stop sign gets knocked down a lot because of the price of them, unfortunately. We are working on getting them into places where they're the best to be used. What we've done right now with the other 2 intersections, with the remarking and the new signs and the flashing stop signs, I think so far I'm hoping it's helping people stop. I've honestly witnessed myself, a couple people just going right by. But yeah, there's a significant cost difference in those two. So it's
So
not
in
like,
the event that it's not the most logical place to put it, if a HOA wants to fund it, then can they pay to put it in? If a HOA actually wants it more than that's what the city would normally do, can they purchase or pay
I'm pretty
towards
sure
getting
we
it?
could. I'm pretty sure we can figure that out because we do that with speed humps and other things. So I don't see why not. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to ask them in the morning. HOA.
Well, and to piggyback off of that, you've been the Traffic SME subject matter expert. That because you, as you said, you witnessed people just run right through them. I mean, on Fairwood, it happens every single day,
Yes, sir.
probably 3 or 4 times a day, and I mean constantly. And so, would it be feasible, and then we could take throughout the city, that get with the police? I mean, I would hope that there would be a traffic division come sometime soon dealing with these tractor trailers. But if those also came with a camera, so people running the stop sign, they just get a ticket. And
Yeah.
then those fines and those can be specifically used for the installation of those newer stop signs, or pay for the bulk price. Let the people who just disobey or just run right through the stop signs pay for it. Is that feasible?
I'm actually working with a company right now. They have what's called Grid Smart. Grid Smart is something that we use in lights normally to figure out when the car is in the right spot, to pick it up instead of the loops that you find in the ground. It's a little bit more to start with, but in the long run, if we ever had to redo the road, we don't have to redo the loops, you see. I've talked to them and asked them if they can do cameras on them. Can they be put in other places? What they can do is they can pick up a motorcycle, or they can pick up a car, or they can pick up an 18-wheeler. Now, my thing is, if they can pick up an 18-wheeler and they can get cameras and pictures on that, why can't we give them tickets from that? You see?
I think that's a great solution.
And that is honestly what I'm working with. The lady actually, Ms. Glasgow from Utilicom, has contacted me back today to send me some information on it. And that's actually what I'm working on. You're correct. It is a police, I won't say a problem. Don't even think that. Those guys are over taxed of what they got to do for what they get paid. So I definitely have the highest respect for them, but they definitely need to be out there. Unfortunately, it's not something that I can fix. It's going to have to be something that they're going to have to patrol.
Mario Clark has a question.
Yes,
Yes,
good
sir.
evening, everyone. Thank you, Corey, for putting this together again. And thank you for being on, sir. I just want to ask a question. Like I said, Corey knows I'm all about the smart speed bumps, and I definitely want to be able to push that initiative forward. But GDOT has said that they're going to put a traffic light at the corner of 138 and Bethsaida Road, but they haven't produced a date. Is there also a chance and opportunity? So one, I want to get the date. And two, is there an opportunity for other traffic calming devices such as cameras to eliminate super speeders along that stretch? And is that something that you guys are looking for as a revenue generator to fund kind of the smart stop signs with the lights on them, with the LED lights? Like, can that be a revenue generator to fund all of these things that we're trying to get done? Because, like I said, when I ride through District 1 and I see those, stop lights with the flashing lights, oh, this is so nice. I wish we had this on our side.
Well, I can tell you this. I don't have a date for when they're planning on starting that. I know it's in the middle of being designed. As soon as it gets designed, it'll be put up immediately. They are looking at putting one there and at Peters. So they're going to have 2 lights there, not just one.
Okay, and there's not looking for a camera for that stretch after Bethsaida all the way to Old National, because that's still about a 3-mile stretch where, you know,
Right.
people are going way above the speed limit. And if we had cameras there and started to issue out tickets for those super speeders, I'm sure that can be a really profitable revenue generator for us.
Definitely. Now I'm not going to say I'm an older gentleman now. I've got older kids, but when I was younger, I used to race myself. I don't know if anybody else did, but you know, being dumb and stupid, I didn't know any better. And but I do understand. My hope is that when we put these 2 lights up, that we put the grid smart system in there with the capabilities to record, and that's going to help. When we get that, we can actually take that information with the police department and send tickets to them.
And does that information connect to Flock too?
I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
Does that information, does the smart grid system connect to the Flock readers as well?
No, that'd be on its own.
Okay, gotcha.
That wouldn't be on the camera system. Now we could put, you know, camera systems all up around the city, but if they're going that fast, it's going to take a series of cameras to take it. So if we get them at Bethsaida and at Peters, or Peters and Bethsaida at the same time, it's going to have a better chance of getting their information.
Gotcha. Understood. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Collins, go ahead, but my hand been up on me.
You can go
Okay.
ahead, James.
Okay, Ms. Willis.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll wait.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got you on that. I got you. Okay, I caught that. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so Mr. Martinez. Now,
Ma'am.
you know, and I don't blame anybody. I'm just on here, you know, trying to get some things done right. So
Where'd you go?
I can't hear you.
Oop. I think she might have lost her connection.
Okay. In that case, I'll talk real fast. Okay.
crosswalk light.
There you are.
I'm sorry. Oh, you know, sometimes my internet is unstable, so I apologize for that. If it gets unstable again, just let me know and I have to get on my phone.
Okay.
Okay,
You didn't
so
catch anything you said, so.
okay, so the crosswalk at Flat Shows and Fairwood is down. I already mentioned that, right?
Right.
There's a crosswalk that said the corner of Buffington and Flat Shows on the right side. You know, it's supposed to be 4 lights, 4 cross, right?
Buffington and
3.
Flat Shoals, correct.
And they only put 3 there. And it's where the I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, yeah. So one of those lights is missing. Crosswalk.
Okay. That one is definitely on GDOT. Unfortunately, we're talking about, make sure I'm talking about the right place. You're talking about not Flat Shoals. You're talking about Old National?
No, it's flat. No, it is Flat Shows. It's Flat Shows in Buffington.
Flat Shoals in Buffington.
Yeah, you know where there's a church on one
Yes.
corner and there's the warehouse on the other corner over there.
Yes.
So on the
Now,
same side. Both of those might be GDOT. I'm not sure.
They are. They are.
Okay.
The problem is we only own the corner that has the church on it. Everything else are in other cities. So we have to, we are working with other cities to try to get some signs done. We haven't talked to them about signals yet. We're still working on it. But we can request GDOT to put some in. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Right.
So let me put that down on my list as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think the more you keep hounding these people sometimes, then maybe they'll get tired and say, let's go ahead and fix it, you know? Okay, then that's all I have. Thank you.
Nope.
Thank you, Ms. Tamiko. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Collins.
Oh,
There you
you're
go.
more than welcome. Okay, it's my turn. Okay. First of all, the traffic speeding light at Fairwood and Pebble Beach does not work. It has not worked in months. It's there, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
And also, you got that? You put that on your list?
Yes, ma'am. Putting it on right now.
Okay, and what a few other things. Who is in charge of traffic studies? Okay, and my other question is, there was a terrible accident on Buffton Road last night. Someone got killed at Magnolia Walk. They hit the car in the back and pushed it on the 18-wheeler.
Shouldn't have been one there.
Right. So what is our solution to that?
So wait, hold on. Before you speak real quick, you said the 18-wheeler, I want to be clear, the 18-wheeler that's on Red Oak Road.
Which it was, they said it was by Magnolia Walk.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It was, Councilman, it was two cars. Somebody was speeding and they, two people were killed right in front of Magnolia Walk on Red Oak. That's 1 and 2 Magnolia Walk on the left-hand side coming down off of Flat Shells on the left side, not the right. That's 3 and 4. And if you come down, you'll see where it's all torn up, where they went through the tree and all of that. So it had to be speeding, or they, a lot of times on Red Oak, because it's a cut through now for all of these subdivisions that are gone up. So they cut through here and the traffic all backed up. People don't want to take their time and get behind a car. They're going around. It's only a 2-lane. So most likely what it looked like, somebody was trying to go around somebody, and then the other car that was on the right lane, the left lane, you know, over compensated and hit them, and 2 cars and 2 people died in it. I mean, it was killed.
Right. So there was no 18-wheeler?
No, this was on Saturday. No, this was on what's this? This was Saturday evening, early Saturday evening when it happened.
Right.
But the
This
problem is
happened
on
last
Red Oak.
night.
Yeah,
No.
that's a different one. This one happened on Saturday night. But when you
Oh,
come down Red Oak and you get ready to make that left on the old Bill Cook, and I know right there, it's so hard to make that left. It needs to be a 3-way stop sign, or I don't know what can be right there. It's too close to another light, but accidents are always in those 2 people homes, down in that Revenge, down on the people that's on the corner of Red Oak, and they always tearing up their tennis. A car always going down there or across the street at that other home that sits right in the front of Red Oak and Old Bill Cook. It's constantly an accident there. Cars are always going into those people's yard, and it just needs to be some type of traffic light, because the people that are coming down Red Oak want to make that left. You have to sit there all day to make that left, and it's just a bad situation.
Right. Well, Sheila, but to your point though, because see, this is, since you've been asking me, well, since we have discussed this, and maybe Mr. Martinez, you can provide some insight to this. Who would be responsible for putting a guardrail that comes around that curb, so that when we know that those cars it's a constant deal? Would that be under your purview, or whose purview would that be to start a guardrail to come around that bend, that corner?
That would be under Public Works, not myself. That would be under Victor Robinson. I know we are about to replace the guardrail between Buffington and Red Oak that got destroyed. That entire thing is going to be fixed if it hasn't been done already. I haven't been out there to look yet. As far as getting a guardrail in front of their house, we just have to ask them if it's, well, we really wouldn't have to ask, because it's literally the right of way that the city has for safety. But would you really want a guardrail in front of your house without somebody asking? You know what I mean? So we'd have to see what we can do. I mean, I wouldn't want one, honestly.
Well, this is
put one in, is what I'm saying.
Well,
but it's not in front of the home. It's on the side coming around that curve. And years ago, it used to be a guardrail there, but it had been so many accidents there. The guardrail was destroyed, and they never put the guardrail back up.
Exactly.
So, okay, let me make sure I'm looking at this right. If I'm coming from Red Oak going up to Old Bill Cook, you're talking about the right-hand side, that corner right there.
Yes, it's not right there. Yes, when you make that right on Old Bill Cook, it used to be a guardrail up there years ago. When you make that right.
Right. I was wondering why I haven't seen them there. Okay. I can
Yeah,
talk
that's
to
what
Because when
somebody.
you
accidents
make a
happen
left,
at all
there's
the
one on the
time.
left-hand side.
Yeah, there's one on the left. I know that's the one they're redoing.
Yeah.
The one on the right, I was wondering why there wasn't one there because there is a nice drop there that there should be one.
And it used to be
what,
one there. It was
right.
one there years ago.
All we're asking
Yeah,
for,
I
can
mean-
they just put that back while y'all doing this repair? Can y'all just go ahead and put one right on across there since we're already in
I
that
can
area
call 'em.
working on it?
I can
You
call them and
man.
ask them.
You the man.
I don't know if they
believe
can
in
do
you.
it right away.
We'll
But
see.
what can be done at that stop sign on the Red Oak when you're making that right or that left turn trying to get on Old Bill Cook, that left especially, that traffic is nonstop right there and it backs up Red Oak all the way down past the church up here, down Magnolia Walk. I mean, it's just backed up there in the evening time.
Right.
I mean, because you can never make that left turn.
Okay.
A three-way stop sign.
Yeah, that's what I suggest, that it need to be a stop sign or something there, because that's what a lot of the reasons why a lot of the accidents happen up there. The left sign.
I'm sorry. I would agree with you, except that it is so close to a light.
Red light.
Itself, yeah.
Yeah.
That it's probably not going to happen. Honestly,
I
I can
figured that.
ask. That's just something I think I need to bring the engineer out and sit down and look at it and say, look, we know we need it. We know we need the guardrail here. I'll call the guys. I think they're supposed to be coming out this week, so I'll see if they can do it at the same time. Just add it on to the bill, and if not, then we'll do what we got to do.
And well, what
Okay.
other formidable solution can there be? What is another solution on another route?
Lighting is one.
Is bad lighting there at night?
Yes, it's very dark. If you're not familiar with the area and you come around there, you're gonna go into that ravine right in those people's home. Yeah, lighting is horrible. Bad lighting.
Bad lighting throughout the state of South Florida.
They are working on that. They
And
are.
there's
I
one
can
other
promise you
thing.
that. I get calls every day about it.
I didn't want to
one other
bring it up. It's okay.
One other thing, there's overgrowth on the left-hand side when you're trying to make that left-hand turn. There's overgrowth.
Okay.
Well, that would
That
be a
could be
little bit
knocked
of
down.
a.
Is it on private property? Do you know?
I
Or is it
think it's
just-
an abandoned house.
Okay, that we can get code enforcement out there and see if he can't find who owns it and get them to chop it down.
Okay.
That's the best we're going to be able to deal with that one, unfortunately. If it's on private property, we can't touch it. Now, if it's growing over into the right of way, our guys can actually cut it back to a point. And that's what might need to happen. And I
Okay.
know which one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the left if you come up to that intersection. So
Yes, when you're trying to make a left-hand turn. And
Right.
also, as I said, the accident that was on what was Buffington Road,
right.
where the car hit the back of the 18-wheeler. Somebody hit the car and pushed it under the truck.
Oh, this
And the
was on
person
Buffington
died
Road. Okay.
That was on Buffington. Okay.
Buffington. And the person died last night. And the reason I know is because I know the person. So I guess when those trucks sit apart in certain areas, it creates problems, and it's dangerous.
Yeah, visual. You can't see around them trucks.
Unfortunately, those trucks are, unfortunately, their trucks aren't supposed to be on that road at all. And that's, no, I understand. That is definitely something for the police department to deal with.
Is
To
there
go over there and
signage
make
there?
a move. There's signage on each end. It tells them they can't be there. We are working on the signage for no trucks. I've put together a whole proposal. It's going to council. I don't know when it's going to council, but it's set up for a bunch of brand new signs and making sure that everything is covered. Some are missing, some are in wrong places, and we're trying to get that fixed.
Mr. Martinez, I'm glad you brought that up. Is there a height requirement for those signs? And will they be the regular signs, or will they be at a level where truck drivers can actually see them clearly in there?
They have to be minimum of 7 foot from the ground. That's the minimum. What we're looking at is getting them up about 10, if we can.
Okay.
You're right. That's where the truckers need to see them. A lot of the problem is, though, the truckers that have been doing it for so long, really, if you have one sign, they might listen. If you have 2 signs, they go, oops, I missed the first one. If they see 3 signs, at that point, it's like a child going, okay, you've tempted me, now I'm going to take it. You see what I mean? It's, no matter how many signs you put up, the truckers that are going, and I hate to say this, the truckers that are going to go are going to go. No matter what, they're going to risk it. Now, we've caught a lot of Amazon trucks, and these guys have lost their jobs because of it, in the back roads over off of South Fulton. I don't know what they're doing over with the one right there on Flat Shoals. I don't know where they're going, but I do know if they come down Feldwood, they can't go any farther than Royal. Is it Royal Drive?
Royal 85 Parkway.
Right. They're not supposed to go any farther past that. They can go down that road, but once they get to the end, they can't go any farther. They're not supposed to go any farther. And that's what the problem is. They actually are. And I don't know if we have any signage over there yet, but I do have that on my list in that new proposal.
Okay, but let me say this. They turn from Roosevelt Highway onto Fairwood Road and go through.
Right. And they're not supposed to be. And unfortunately, we do have, on Feldwood, we do have the signs up there, and they're still going through. It's, back in the day, it used to be GPS for truckers and GPS for citizens. If the truckers aren't using a regular GPS, which they don't, they use their phones like everybody else, it won't tell them where they can't go. Okay. That's just one thing that's we can't help. But for them to say, well, I didn't know, my GPS brought me that way, I'm sorry. Thank goodness that the council has upped the fines on that, and they're going to learn really quick.
Okay. Thank you.
And I hate to say it, it is literally the police department has to be out there to get them.
Ms. Rutgers had her hand up for a minute.
Thank you. Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone. My concern is right there at Royal South Parkway, coming out of Royal South Parkway onto Buffington Road, making that left turn is quite difficult to come out of that turn right there. Is there something can be implemented right there? To the right, I think it's a V light. To the right, you might can get out of making that left turn right at the Chevron station.
Right. Now, I'll tell you, talking about the other end. I do not know. I have to take a look at it. I believe that area does belong to the city of South Fulton. That is one of our issues, I would say, or challenges that we're having with some of the signage that we need to put up. We are requiring the other cities to do it, and they're not, because it doesn't concern them. So that's why we say we're trying to get in with them so that we can put signs up and they don't tear them down, that they understand why we're doing it. That intersection right there, I'd have to take a look at GIS and take a look and see what's ours and what's not. And we just have to put up some more signage, and that's a possibility that could be an all-way stop. If I have an engineer take a look at it, it's a possibility. We'd have to do a count and find out.
Okay, yeah, because something definitely needs to be done there. Because, like I said, it's difficult to come out of that left turn coming out of Royal South.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially with the charter school on the right, you got traffic constantly coming, and you just sit there for minutes trying to make that left turn. So that was
Right.
just my concern.
And that leads back to a previous question or somebody asks us who is responsible for traffic studies, because let me just say this: when somebody requests speed bumps, it's an act of God to get it done, and then they have to do all this work and then pay for it. And so, but when the developer come in and want to put a warehouse, they say, "Oh, they use a traffic study that was in Sages." But so somebody asked that question, and I just didn't want that to go unanswered.
I understand. Roussan Francois is the gentleman that will initiate the traffic studies, and then we hand it over to the engineering company who actually does it. One of the things you're talking about, sir, is that the Amazon. Let's talk about. And I know it's not in your district. I know you have one in your district, but Amazon on Derrick Road and South Fulton Parkway. If anybody knows that one corner belongs to another city. Everything else around it belongs to us. Okay, so we're having problems with their trucks driving through our area and destroying our roads. Okay, it's not something we could have stopped them from putting up because it wasn't our city. So as far as traffic counts go, if they have it and it's in Sages, it should be eligible to be seen by Roussan and the engineers. Okay, so yes, it would be Roussan and the engineers that would do that.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
you can't stop the warehouse from going up, but can you stop the trucks from traveling through unless they pay,
That's
some
what we're
kind of.
trying. We are definitely trying to do that. At that one intersection, I have in the plan, no trucks on Buffington Road, a sign there. If you go just to the right of the actual warehouse, I'm putting up a sign that says no trucks beyond this point. Okay, so they don't go away. They're not going down to Old National. Is that going to stop them? I'm hoping. Then they can go the other way, and then once they get to Feldwood, they can't go any farther than that. So they have to make a right and go to Royal Drive. So if they're not going there, they're still going to try to find a way around it.
Right. Well, Mr. Martinez, let me. I want to do this because see, as I have because you're the subject matter expert. So, and I know you're gonna get on this one because you said a warehouse is not in my district. Well, there's one that's still in limbo because it was tried, and but it probably will judge the decision, and it's on appeal now. But at the corner of Mallory and Stacks Road. And see, we talked about the going over the tracks, and the trailers was too low. One gets stuck. I mean, it's almost constantly that it got stuck. This time, it just got hit by the train.
Right.
And so, but this ain't the first time. It's going to happen again. But my only solution is build a bridge that go over the train. But that's a whole nother conversation. But the traffic study is they're going to, if they are successful in doing that, they coming out from Mallory Road from their warehouse traveling 2 stacks. Well, they can only go left. And then when they come over the tracks, they can only go right. And so then also too is we had to pay, we was down over here for what, 2.5 years with that bridge on Stacks Road being out because all the heavy traffic and trucks was going over the bridge, causing damage to an antiquated bridge anyway. And so we just had a repair on this bridge. And so, but you've been to traffic, how can we curtail that to keep the trucks from crossing over that bridge? Because we have a traffic study, 2.5 years of them not using it. And so, and by that warehouse being there, they could only go coming off of Roosevelt Highway, they could only go right onto Stacks, I'm sorry. And then they could only come left going out on the Stacks to Mallory. Right.
Mm-hmm. And that road needs to be fixed too, for Councilman Reed. That road is kind of ragged.
Well, see, we're gonna stay germane to the top because we're gonna stay to trap. That's not his purview right there. But I know that. But impact fees is you can have a definitely say in the cause of that. And again, that traffic there because that warehouse that well, if they just happen to go, that would be an ideal place to have those cameras, pictures, and the stop signs, the smart signs, I guess that you would say, as because if they break it each time because they're going to do it, right?
Yes.
And so and we just tax them each and every time. So I
And,
think
and
that'll
every
be a
time we
problem.
do that, yes, sir. Every time they do that, it's $1,000, and that should go right back into the roads to fix them.
So that would be a good implementation to go ahead and put them up down, right? So we can just pre-plan. So if they are successful, then hey, but we'll still catch the trucks that you do go down the road illegally anyway.
We're trying to, yes, sir.
Well,
So like I said, that grid smart system, I'm not saying it's a catch-all, it's 100% positive. It is just one thought that I've had to try to get it implemented because like I said, I know it can differentiate between, a motorcycle, a car, or a truck. And that's what we really need to have right now. So it's not just taking pictures of just anybody.
absolutely. Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
you have a hand up, and I have a quick question. Are you able to put how much the fines are under the signs that say no truck, so they know if they go down that street, they're gonna get $1,000 fine or whatever the amount is gonna be?
I can talk to the director and see if he wants to put those on our signs. We have put on the City of South Fulton ordinance number on there, but that's makes them stop, have to figure out what the ordinance is and read it. They're not going to do it. I hate to tell them that, honestly. But yeah, that would be a really good thing. $1,000 fine for every time. A sign, just a little placard underneath.
Well, after they check it a third time, shouldn't it like double?
You would think. That's something that unfortunately the council would have to talk about with the last.
Oh, I'm already there. I'm just waiting on 3 other people.
Okay. But yeah, after getting caught so many times, definitely, I'd jump it up because if they're not going to learn their lesson.
Well, if it had any effect like the speed, the school zone cameras, I think that would be effective. Go ahead,
Yes.
somebody had a question.
Me, this is Alejandro. Hey, how's everyone doing? Sorry.
Al, how you doing?
Well, now I just have 2 statements. Number one, Corey, if you remember, the city ordinance fines, they're misdemeanor, so the maximum fine is $1,000, so you can't go beyond that. But what can happen is if the ordinance is written correct, in a format, second offense could be jail time, suspension of CDL licenses or points on those CDL licenses. That's where you may want to talk to the city attorney about. But if you're already charging $1,000, that's the maximum you can charge because those are misdemeanors by state statute.
But you're right though. But right, which means if they get that fine and we have something else that's more severe the second time, that first time we're gonna send a clear and cut message. They'll never do it again. And word will travel throughout that industry because they cannot afford to lose their
that's what I
CDL.
said. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you may want to do the CDL stuff or possible jail time, whatever the case would be. But also, what I was saying, I think someone asked about the Buffington Road intersection right there at Rural South. That is part of the GDOT project. So there's going to be a traffic light there at some point, probably this time next year, because they're actually they should be starting to survey the road for the widening probably like now, like in November. And then, they'll start working on that project over the next year to widen, the road with that GDOT expansion. And there's going to be a traffic light there and bike lanes and wider sidewalks and all that kind of stuff. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Well, let me just say this, Mr. Martinez, would you be amenable to come back next month in a couple of weeks? Next month is tomorrow, but because because it's 7:37. I know we started a little past the time, but you have been awesome. You have been awesome here. But we do have follow-up questions and then give you some time to come back with some formidable solutions on what we have discussed this evening as just a follow-up. But I did want to give Ms. Freeman, if she's still on, a minute from the commissioner's office to give an update if she's still on.
Mr. Reeves, before you go on, I'm sorry. Someone asked in the chat, would the fines go to the drivers of the companies? It depends, honestly. Some drivers will try to give it to the companies, but if they probably have to pay it themselves, honestly. More information on that one would be coming from the police department, I think. That was just one of the questions I saw on there. I figured I'd let you know.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, look here, brother. I appreciate that. And so, but yes, and thank you again. And I don't want to just abruptly stop or anything, but I do want just to come back and so we can have a follow up. And so I think that everybody got a little educated tonight. I did. And so is that something that you'll be able to do, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you want me back, I'd be glad to come back.
Awesome. Yes, sir. And so the community wants you back. We want you back. And so, Miss that being said, Miss Freeman, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We're a little past time, but I did want to give you the opportunity to just give us a little update from the commissioner's office. But everybody want to know what's going on with Wolf Creek. So I'll just start with that.
This is the thing. I think the last time I was asked this question, I was able to get an update from Commissioner Arrington. And so the last I heard, which is still the same, is that they're still in negotiations as it relates to the EPA study, you know, that because it's on a landfill, there are some issues, environmental issues that need to be cleared up before that has transferred over to the city of South Fulton. That was the last I heard. But while I'm on the call and sharing just a few points with you all, I am going to refer to my notes just to make sure that I have quoted the commissioner, as well as I did reach out to someone else in reference to it. And I just want to refer to my notes just to make sure I have it right. But as of right now, I haven't heard any new developments since the last time we mentioned that. And it was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. And I do want to take a moment of privilege here. Because
Yes,
this
sir.
is something I personally want to know about too, because I champion this. As some people already know, please tell us about the $1 million towards the tiny homes that the chairman wants to give as a pilot to address housing and that nature. And this will be a good thing to talk about that, because tiny homes, and then how would that affect, because people's new concept of living and mobility, and we just talked about traffic, how would that impact it, or but just update us on the tiny home deal and how is that coming along? How is that progressing forward? Because in the article, or his press release, he did say there's areas in South Fulton that they can do that in. And so I was just wanting to know, how is that progressing?
Okay, so the latest update is that we are in the process of looking for some parcels of land. We will make sure that that land is owned by Fulton County. But at the last I heard, I don't think that land is going to be in the city of South Fulton. So just FYI, I don't think it's going to be in the city of South Fulton, but they're in the process of still looking at land.
You just broke my heart. You just broke my heart. You shattered my heart.
It's not a done deal, so they're still looking. That's all I can say. Because I think that, we have to make sure that whatever land the pilot is built on, that it is the right piece of land for whatever community that it's in. So just know that that's the last update that I have received on it. What I will do is I'm going to make a note here in reference to, hold on, I'm gonna put it right here so I don't forget. I will keep you all updated if there's any movement and progress, and more than likely it's going to be in the chairman's heads up announcement. Councilman, are you receiving those heads up emails? I believe so.
No, ma'am.
Let's see. Here is, hold on. Tommy Cole? Are you on the line?
Yes.
Ms. Leverett? Okay, I know that Ms. Leverett has replied that she has received those updates from me because she says, thank you. So they're going to your email and I think hers as well. And I usually send them out usually on a Monday or a Wednesday. And usually the chairman's press releases and are his Rob's views. I put those are usually the first information that's a part of those announcements when
Oh,
when
okay.
they're
Well, if
there.
that's the case, right. I do get those, but I get those on a different email. Okay, right. So,
Mhm.
because
And so, yeah, and so anything that's new as it relates to any of the initiatives that the chairman has, and of course, the Board of Commissioners, I usually have put in the announcements, but I have made a note that any movement in reference to tiny homes, I will definitely make sure that your community knows about it for sure. Okay, your district.
absolutely.
Okay.
I know I welcome them, and and hopefully that the community will welcome it too. They love the
Yeah.
one up in College Park, right next door.
Right. I think they're cottages. It's a cottage community. Cottages of something. I can't remember the name, but all right. So you have anything else for me as far as that you want to hear from me about, or can I
No, just
kind of,
work. Just
okay.
go at it. You have at it.
Okay, because usually what I like to do is share some things I think you guys will want to know about. But also, of course, if the councilman says, hey, these are some things that and updates you have on, I definitely want to honor those. And should I not have any information or any updates on any initiatives, I will get back with you all because I do love homework assignments. So I wanted to give you all an update on, and I'm trying to find it now because I had it pulled up. Okay, so this is in reference to the electric vehicles countywide. As we know, the chairman has won the support of the Board of Commissioners to move forward with a plan to install electric vehicles, charging stations in county and public facilities where feasible. So I wanted to make sure you all knew about that. And I want to read just an excerpt from the press release that went out on the 24th. We know that the American Lung Association has documented the negative aspects that gas-powered vehicles have on one's health, including wheezing, shortness of breath, and lung cancer. With more than 8 million gas-powered vehicles in Georgia, the impacts could be devastating if we continue to rely on gas, if the reliance of gas continues. And so the chairman does say that this is the first, I'm quoting him, this is the first step. And I've encouraged every city in Fulton County to follow their lead and adopt similar initiatives. Stop and think. Much of what we breathe in every day is emitted from vehicles, and it's potentially deadly. We absolutely must reduce this pollution output, and the county plans to be a model for the nation. So wanted to make sure you all knew about that. This full press release with the link to it will be in this week's announcements, which should go out either tomorrow or on Wednesday. And of course, you all can see that I have my voting sticker on right here. So hopefully you all know by now that early voting has begun. And I will be happy to put the advanced voting hours and locations, the PDF in the chat that can be shared with the community. But once again, this is another document that is included in those weekly announcements. Advanced voting started October 17th and it ends on November 4th. And that's all I have for you all. Do you have any questions? I do see some things in the chat. Some questions or comments in the chat. So, Mr. Councilman, would you like for me to try to address some of those questions in the chat?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, so. All right, loss negotiations. So I need to, the last I heard on Friday, I need to get back with you all on this because I need to make sure, I'm not sure if it's gone public yet on, I
Well,
need to
then please,
find out whether,
just please stop there then, because we know about that. If it ain't public, we can't even talk about it.
yeah, but do know that negotiations are winding down. Let me just say that. Okay, and you should be hearing something publicly very, very soon on loss negotiations. I think that that's it that I have in the chat that I can help with. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns? I will put the advanced voting hours and the locations document in the chat. And also I will put a few links that I think you may find helpful. Thank you for your time and your attention this evening.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I just want to have one follow-up deal is Fulton County Elections consolidating their to a building down here in South Fulton?
That is in the works. That is in the works. I need to put that on my list too, because it was talked about in detail in the last BOC meeting. And oh, by the way, I forgot, my apologies. There will be a BOC meeting on this Wednesday and at 10 a.m. And while I'm on the call, I will get all the details for you because there are some agenda items that I think that you all will find very interesting. But yes, there are some talks about us consolidating our voter registrations operations. And so I'm going to put that as a to-do to get more details or get some type of report from maybe the Department of External Affairs in reference to it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's just another homework assignment that you love. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. Consolidate. Yep.
All right. Well, good people. It is now 7:50, and I do want to thank Mr. Martinez for coming on and Ms. Freeman for providing the update, and for you being the best part of the city of South Fulton and taking time out of your day to join this call. I'm sorry that we had to run a little over, but sometimes we will do that. But I like to try to stay to an hour. I hope you got something out of this today. I'm not gonna keep you no longer. It is Monday night, and that's time for now. It is time for Monday Night Football.
Chili cook-offs.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This. Thank you, Tamiko. This is why she's awesome. This is why she's the general. Okay, I really appreciate. Yes, the chili cook-off this Saturday, from 11 to 3. It's open up to everybody. We honor our veterans, but if you want to participate, there are 3 categories: it's beet chili, vegetarian chili, and vegan chili. And there is a difference between vegan and vegetarian. Come out to learn what that is. Enter into it. It is. There are top prizes of 500, 250, and 100 for each category. And so to go to a nonprofit that supports veteran programs here in the city. So register today and come on out this Saturday and be a part of it. Good fun. At early voting ends Friday. So a way to come out and relax. And that's the last Saturday before voting on Tuesday. So register, come on out. If you know anybody who wanted to be in it, send it to them. And so we open it up and for participation. And we did ask city services if anyone can come out there to be a part of it. They, bring us some information about the department. So we'll have more on that confirmation later this week and update accordingly. So that's what we have this week. Thank you, Tamiko. I appreciate that. But thank you everyone else for joining the call. Tamiko, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Nothing trumps that.
And Mr. Councilman, I just wanted to let you know, I did put the information in reference to the Board of Directors meeting, the Board of Commissioners meeting on Wednesday. I put it in the chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell Chairman Pitts if he's not doing anything this Saturday from 11 to 3 to come on stop by Burdett Field and be a part of this here. And so let's engage into the community. I've definitely reached out to Marvin Ayrton as well to come.
Do you guys have a flyer? Do you have a flyer?
Tamika will be sending it to you in a few minutes.
Thank
It's in
you.
the chat, but I'll
Tamika.
email it to you directly.
Okay, thank you so much, Tamika. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Oh, there it is. I see it. I got it.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good evening, and I appreciate y'all more than you know.
Good night. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night.
Thank you.